Have you ever found yourself in that incredibly frustrating situation where you understand English perfectly?
Oh, yeah, I know the one.
But the words just won't come out when you try to speak. Like, you can binge watch your favorite shows, you follow YouTube tutorials, listen to podcasts, you even get the gist of whole conversations in English. You get it.
You really do.
But then someone asks you a direct question and, well, what happens?
It's like hitting a brick wall.
Exactly. Your brain just goes blank. You want to answer, the words feel like they're right there, sort of dancing on the tip of your tongue.
But they just won't emerge.
Yeah. And if that sounds painfully familiar, believe me, you are absolutely not alone.
No, definitely not. Millions of people are in exactly the same boat. It's a really common struggle, that feeling.
That feeling of having all this comprehension.
Yeah, tons of it. But being unable to actually produce the language yourself.
It can feel incredibly isolating, can't it?
It really can. There's this weird disconnect between what your brain knows and what your mouth can actually, do.
Well, that disconnect is exactly what we're diving into today.
Good.
Our mission is to figure out why this happens, and we've got some fantastic material on unlocking English fluency to help us.
And more importantly,
yeah, we want to give you the blueprint for how to actually bridge that gap, how to get those words flowing.
Right. And what's really critical to understand here, I think, is that the core of this whole challenge often comes down to a basic misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding of what?
Of how language acquisition actually works. Our sources, they draw this really clear distinction between understanding and speaking. They're like two completely different games, cognitively speaking.
Different games. Okay, that's an interesting way to put it. So it's not just passive versus active. Is that what you mean?
It's more than that. Yeah. It's not just passive absorption versus active production. It's about engaging fundamentally different pathways in your brain.
Okay.
So when you listen or read, you're basically decoding information. Right? It uses one set of cognitive processes. But when you speak, you have to encode your thoughts into language first.
Right, formulation.
Exactly. And then you activate different neural networks for that. And for the motor control to physically make the sounds, it's a whole different operation.
So it's like, okay, imagine your brain is this brilliant football analyst.
Okay.
You can watch a pro match, understand every single pass, every tactic, every amazing move. You're analyzing the whole thing.
You get the strategy.
Totally. But that doesn't mean you can just step onto the field and play like a pro yourself, does it?
Not at all.
Because watching and doing are just fundamentally different skills. You might be an incredible English listener, a master understander, but speaking, well, that's a whole different muscle you haven't trained yet.
Precisely. And this is where that common pitfall lies. It's just like trying to learn to swim by only watching videos of Michael Phelps or someone.
Right. You can study every stroke, every breath.
Every dive, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't actually become a swimmer until you jump in the water and start moving your arms and legs.
You have to get wet.
You have to get wet. Our findings really highlight a crucial truth here. Simply listening to and reading English on its own will never make you fluent in speaking.
Never. That's strong.
Well, not without this speaking practice to go with it. And what's really astonishing is that most learners spend, get this, like 90% of their time on input activities.
90%, just instant.
90%.
Yeah.
Listening, reading, completely neglecting the essential output part.
Wow. That figure is genuinely shocking. Why do you think people fall into that trap so easily, even when they desperately want to speak?
Well, it's often about comfort, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe a perceived sense of efficiency.
How so?
Input activities like listening and reading, they feel less intimidating, right? They feel productive, like you're learning. And there's no immediate pressure to perform.
True. No risk of making mistakes in front of people.
Exactly. But because they engage different brain functions, as we said, they don't directly build your speaking proficiency unless you add dedicated speaking practice.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so if we accept that understanding and speaking are different games, and most people are stuck in that 90% input loop, what are the core reasons? Why does someone understand but still struggle so much to actually speak?
Our research really points to three key factors.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first, as we've kind of already touched on, is simply a lack of output practice, straight up.
Just not doing it enough.
Right. Your brain might comprehend the language perfectly well, but your mouth and the complex neural pathways needed to produce those sounds and sentence structures, they just haven't had the reps, the necessary practice.
So it's like your brain has all the blueprints.
Yeah.
But the speaking muscle has basically been lounging on the couch.
That's a great way to put it. It's underdeveloped. And that leads us right into the second major hurdle,
which is
the fear of making mistakes. This is huge. A massive psychological barrier for so many learners.
Oh, absolutely. That reluctance to sound wrong, or the fear of being laughed at, maybe, or just feeling super shy and nervous.
Yes, all of that. That fear of embarrassment or just not being perfect, it's incredibly powerful. And it leads directly to silence.
You just clam up.
You clam up. Even when you actually know what you want to say, the anxiety just keeps your mouth shut. And here's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Over time, that silence, it can become a habit, like a deeply ingrained response. So even when the intellectual part of you knows the answer, the habit of silence takes over.
Which creates a vicious cycle, right? If you're always silent because you're scared.
How can you ever improve? Exactly. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh. Okay, so lack of practice, fear of mistakes. What's the third reason?
The third one is something I think almost every non-native speaker has battled with at some point.
Let me guess. Translating in your head.
Bingo. Thinking in your native language first. You hear a question in English. Your brain processes it. Then you mentally translate it into your own language. Then you formulate an answer in your language. Then you try to translate that answer back into English, often searching for the right words as you go.
Oh, I remember doing that. It's exhausting and so slow. You feel that blankness while your brain is whirring away trying to translate. It's maddening.
It is. And by the time your brain has finished that whole multi-step translation marathon,
the moment's gone.
The moment has often passed, the conversation's moved on, or your chance to jump in has just vanished. It delays your response so much that spontaneous, natural conversation becomes incredibly difficult and frustrating.
Okay, so those are the big three challenges. Not enough output practice, the fear factor, and that constant mental translation loop.
That seems to cover the core issues, yes.
So if those are the problems, what's the solution? What's the blueprint for actually turning this whole thing around? Our deep dive uncovered 5 really powerful tips, things that genuinely seem to work to unlock speaking confidence.
Yes. And the first one might sound a bit strange, but it's surprisingly effective. It's practicing something called shadowing.
Shadowing, like following someone.
Kind of. It's a technique where you listen to a native speaker say from a podcast or a video, and you immediately repeat what they say, almost like an echo.
Okay.
But you're not just repeating the words blankly. You're actively trying to copy their tone, their rhythm, the whole flow of their speech.
Shadowing. Sounds good in theory, but how does just repeating words actually help you become more fluent? Like, what's the connection there?
That's a fair question. What shadowing does is it trains your brain and your mouth to produce English sounds and patterns more naturally, almost instinctively.
Like muscle memory for your mouth.
Exactly. You're building muscle memory for speech patterns, intonation, pronunciation, how sentences flow. It helps move you from just passively recognizing the language to actively, physically producing it.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And the sources suggest that even just 10 minutes of shadowing a day can make a noticeable difference in your fluency over time. It trains your brain to produce English, more like a native speaker does, without conscious effort.
10 minutes a day? That's actually really manageable.
Totally.
Okay, so building on that idea of practicing solo, our second tip is something people might feel a bit, well, quirky doing, but it's apparently super effective.
Let me guess. Talking to yourself.
You got it. Speak with yourself.
Absolutely. You don't always need a conversation partner to start practicing speaking. Make English part of your internal monologue. Or, even better, speak it out loud throughout your day.
Like narrating your life?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
When you wake up, describe your morning routine in English, even just simple sentences. Okay, I'm getting up now. I'm making tea.
I need to go outside. I'm checking my phone. Things like that.
Exactly. Those things. Just narrate your daily activities. It might feel weird at first, but it really works.
I actually really like that tip because it feels so low pressure. You're making English a real living part of your day, integrating it naturally without any fear of judgment. It builds confidence in a totally safe space.
Precisely. And the third tip leverages something pretty much everyone is glued to their hand these days. Your phone. Use it to record yourself speaking English. Record short messages. Maybe tell a brief story about your day. Anything, really.
Okay, recording myself. But then what?
The real magic happens when you listen back.
The playback.
Yes. When you listen back to your own voice, you'll start to notice things. What sounds natural, what sounds a bit off. You effectively become your own teacher.
So you can spot awkward phrasing or pronunciation things you might not catch while you're actually speaking?
Exactly. It gives you that immediate feedback loop for self-correction. It's incredibly helpful.
I can see that. Okay, so tip number 4 challenges a really traditional way of learning language that, well, most of us probably grew up with.
Which is?
Learn in phrases, not just individual words.
Oh, this is critical.
Yeah.
Yes. Instead of just memorizing single words in isolation like go or happy or sure.
Like vocabulary lists.
Right. Avoid that. Instead, advocate learning complete chunks or patterns. Things like, can I go now? I'm not really sure. Or, that's interesting.
So learn ready-made phrases.
Exactly. And if we think about the bigger picture here, this isn't just about being more efficient. It's about mimicking how native speakers actually acquire and use language. We operate with these chunks.
We don't build every sentence from scratch with individual word bricks.
Not usually, no.
Oh.
Your brain remembers these full patterns much better, and it makes speaking feel faster, more automatic, because you're not constantly searching for the next word.
That's fascinating. So you're not building sentences piece by piece every time. You're pulling out these pre-assembled blocks, like a linguistic Lego set.
That's a perfect analogy, linguistic Lego. And the 5th tip. It sounds almost too simple, but it's probably the most important one of all.
Okay, what is it?
Practice speaking every single day.
Every day.
Every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes.
Ah, consistency.
Consistency is the absolute key. It doesn't matter so much how you do it. Maybe you join an English-speaking group online, use a language exchange app, or just talk to yourself like we mentioned.
Right.
The goal is just to make speaking English a non-negotiable daily habit, like brushing your teeth.
You don't need hours and hours, just consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even 5 minutes of deliberate output practice is way more valuable than an hour of passive listening if your main goal is speaking fluency.
5 minutes a day. Okay, that feels achievable. And that leads us perfectly into something that's just as vital as all these practical tips. Your mindset. How many times have you or someone you know thought those really self-defeating things like, oh, I'm not confident enough, or I'm just not fluent, or I'm not good enough at English?
Oh, constantly. Those thoughts are incredibly common. But here's the truth, and our sources really emphasize this.
Yeah.
Fluency is not some innate talent you're either born with or not.
It's not genetic.
Definitely not. It's skill, pure and simple. And like any other skill, learning to ride a bike, play the piano, cook a decent meal,
Right.
it improves with time, with patience, and crucially, with consistent practice.
So you don't need a perfect accent.
Absolutely not.
You don't need flawless grammar from day one.
No way. What you need, more than anything, is the courage to just open your mouth and speak. Again and again and again.
That's actually incredibly liberating to hear. It takes so much pressure off needing to be perfect right away.
It should.
It reminds me of how babies learn to talk. They don't sit there studying grammar books, do they?
Not a single one.
And they certainly don't worry about making mistakes. They just babble, they try words out.
They make hundreds of mistakes every single day.
But that's exactly how they learn. That's how they grow and eventually become fluent. It's a messy but amazing process.
We can learn so much from that natural, organic approach. Forget this idea of perfection. It's paralyzing.
So focus on progress instead.
Focus relentlessly on progress. Every single word you manage to speak, even if it feels clumsy or you stumble over it,
Yeah.
that's a step forward.
Every little bit counts.
It really does. And every mistake you make, that's not a failure. Please don't see it as failure.
What is it then?
It's just data. It's an integral part of your learning journey. It's your brain figuring things out, learning from experience, and refining the process.
Okay, so speak up, be brave, embrace the messiness, the mistakes,
Yes.
and actually try to, enjoy the process of sounding human and connecting with others.
Exactly. You've listened this far into our deep dive, which tells us something important,
What's that?
that you're serious about this. You genuinely want to transform your English speaking ability.
Right. So here's your immediate call to action. Don't wait. Take the very next step today. Not tomorrow, today.
Like right now.
Right now or right after this. Try speaking to yourself in English for a minute. Describe what you see around you.
Or record that short message on your phone we talked about. Just 30 seconds.
Or, if you're feeling particularly brave, find an opportunity, however small, to join a quick conversation. Maybe even just ordering coffee in English if you can.
Because here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
The more you speak,
The more fluent you become.
it really is that simple. It's cause and effect.
Remember, you already understand English. You've done the hard work on the input side.
You have the foundation.
Now it's your time to speak.